me because I'm not focused on it. So what do you need to change about that, Trish? You need to focus on yourself. How we do that? We don't become blind to everything around us, but we have an incredible desire to help ourselves. You know how people say, may I help you? Ask yourself, may I help myself? Give yourself permission to help yourself. Because if you're always thinking about making the change, but never doing anything about it, you're never going to see that change. Well, good morning. It is top of the morning to you, and I welcome you. Transformation Tuesday is that day. And as we transform, we are looking for beautiful changes. And all this week, we are going to be talking about beautiful changes. And as we are forever changing, we're going to find some beauty in this. All week long, we're going to be joining Vibe Talk in discussion of beautiful changes. Good morning, someone. I see you, and good morning. We are talking about beautiful change this morning. Good morning, Trish, my co-host. And I thank you guys for joining. I have a Vibe Talk question. And that Vibe Talk question is, Trish, are you here? Thank you. I don't like to use the word whisker, so please forgive me. What I do want to say is, welcome to Vibe Talk. We're going to be asking the Vibe Talk question. What has been your beautiful moment? A moment that you have experienced. And someone, do you want to start us off? What has been a beautiful moment for you? We're waiting for call-ins. Thank you. Good morning. What has been beautiful moments? And as soon as I came on, the phone started ringing. We like that. Someone, what has been a beautiful moment? Good morning to my co-host, Trish.
Good morning.
And our Vibe Talk question is, what beautiful moment have you had? We're going to be asking the same question, but in different ways, so that you understand there is change in beautiful moments. Change is inevitable. We grow to change. We change for growth. What has been your beautiful moment, Trish? Beautiful moment.
A beautiful moment I had was actually in Vibe Talk. My first album drop of the day, we actually played it, and to me that was very beautiful and special because someone actually took time to hear me. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part, baby.
I said someone actually took time to hear me, to listen to me.
Yeah. That was inspiring for me. When you look at the back of your board, your pictures on this profile or podcast. Are those not beautiful moments? They are not my pictures. I came across them on the internet, and whoever took these pictures, wow, we are still accepting our photos of fall in your area. Trish, I saw yours. Beautiful indeed. Thank you so much. And in that, we've been asking you to send your beautiful pictures. We want to say, too, that in the morning as we are coming on, after our introductions, we see the phone light up. I see it. Give us a chance to do the introductions before we can answer. We're not ignoring you. We just have a segment and we want to do things professionally. So if you want to call in, lines are open. We see you, we hear you. And we are going to be live recording. There is a third place so that if you have Spotify, you're going to be able to hear our podcast from now on. And so today we celebrate that being the case. I'm excited. What are you all thankful for and why? I'm thankful for research. There's a lot of power in research. I'm thankful for that. Trish, what are you thankful for? Okay.
I'm thankful for my dad driving to work this morning because we have a lot of fog.
Oh, wow. Hope he arrives safely. Fog is not something that is fun. Good morning, someone.
Good morning.
What are you thankful for? And please tell us where you're from. Please and thank you.
I'm from Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm thankful for the day I have today because it's my birthday today.
Okay, and how old are you?
I am 17 now.
So you're changing from 16 to 17. Can't get away from change. What do you think you'll do differently? Now that
I think I'll be focused more on studying instead of playing.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. We wish you all. Go ahead.
End up like the men. I don't want to offend anybody that's homeless or something, but I don't want to end up like them.
Okay.
Especially the ones that work in McDonald's.
Well.
So I'm trying to find myself a future because I'm not thinking of myself. I'm thinking of my possible my possible future children, which I need to help and get their needs as soon as I am stable enough.
Yeah, we can't judge anybody. And I want to put a disclaimer on that because it doesn't matter where you work. We appreciate your thoughts because you don't know why those people have to work at McDonald's or are choosing to work at McDonald's. A lot of times people are choosing to work there because they don't have a choice. And we want to put a disclaimer. We do not judge where people work. People that work at McDonald's are some of the bravest people that I know. We love you, McDonald's. My other question for you is the Vibe Talk question of the day. What was a beautiful moment that you experienced? Please and thank you.
A beautiful moment I have experienced. Probably the solar eclipse today.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did you get a chance to get any pictures?
I mean, it's in the middle of it right now, but I don't want to get blind, so I'm not going out. I'm not taking chances right now.
Okay. Didn't know if you had gotten pictures of that. So that's why we asked.
I will send it to you on Facebook.
I'm sorry?
If I ever did, I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Okay. Well, you would have to send it directly to Vibe Talk. We'd love to see it. We want to thank you for your call. Please stand by. We're going to disconnect the line and let you listen to us and interact in your box, your chat box. Thank you for your call, all the way from Southeast Asia. Thank you. Always like when he calls. Thank you so much. And so we're going to be talking about change. Trish, what do you think about this picture?
I really love this picture, especially the one with the leaves, because it's very nice. It's very pretty to me. I think that's very beautiful.
Change. That is what somebody's fall looks like. Of course, I pulled this up, and we shared your pictures yesterday. We shared them on our Vibe Talk page. Thank you so much for those. Send us your pictures. Change. How can we relate to change? Beauty. How does it relate to change? That's what we're going to be talking about. We're looking forward to your being able to call us. That's what we're looking forward to. You know I'm famous for beautiful quotes. Here's one. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. Change is happening every moment. As I just spoke for the last 12 minutes or 11 minutes, change took place. Change. When we see constantly new changes, sometimes change is overflowing. With great potential it is. When we think about our very breath, we take in change. Let me show you. Are you ready? Inhale. Exhale. You see the change? Just in those seconds of time, your lungs experienced change. How many of us have ever thought about our lungs as a beautiful thing? Look at what our lungs can do. Breathe in, change. Breathe out, change. I want you to always pay attention to yourself when it comes to those precious moments. Now, we're talking about change in that. Change can be seen as a beautiful moment. Some changes have brought beautiful things into your life. We want to hear about them, and we're asking the question, what is your beautiful memory? Something like that, because I've already forgotten, but I know it's something along those lines. What beautiful moment have you ever had? And how did it change your life? My beautiful moment has and will always be the birth of my children. changing my life. You wait 9 months to see what your baby is going to look like. And did you know that since my last child has been born, they have had 3D pictures so that you by X-ray can see your child? But could I just say this? Nothing compares to the first time that mommy and baby meets, or mommy or daddy, baby and mommy meets. Nothing compares to that. Beautiful moments are yours. Everybody has had a beautiful moment. Trust me. We're going to be able to listen in. We're going to be able to understand what these beautiful moments can be. Whoever thought that our lungs can be a beautiful thing? Just the mere fact that you breathe is a beautiful moment. When I asked you earlier to feel and experience the beautiful moment, how was that for you? Trish? Good morning for those who are just coming in. We thank you for joining us. Our question of the day is, what beautiful moment have you had? We want you to share. And where are you from? For those of you who just came in, we see you. We thank you for joining us. We are accepting phone calls for those Vibe Talk answers and questions. That is what gets our conversation going. Your questions and your comments. And for those of you who are listening in, please let us know where you're from. We are recording live. We're recording live. And today is our very first day where we are starting to record for our Spotify. Vibe Talk can now be found on Spotify, Facebook, and can be found on Instagram. We're not live recording there yet. Thank you so much. So now, Vibe Talk is bringing you the question that no one seems to want to deal with. We deal with emotions, feelings, challenges, fears, expectation, all of those, and much, much more. So we hope you'll stay with us today. We hope that you will learn and listen and engage in our conversation. So, when we think about change, change is celebration, not just for a special day. Every day is a celebration of change. We celebrate our children. We celebrate our parents. We celebrate achievement. Think of yourself as an achievement. As you look to the left, you see what is a picture of a beautiful deer. But before that deer changes into that majestic, handsome, beautiful deer, he is what is called a fawn. Fawns are always little deers, baby deers. They are not born with antlers. But yet, It is so amazing that they begin to grow in a certain season of life with them. I am not a deer, I am not a fawn, but I can tell you, it is the most beautiful thing. Change. On my right, remember that this is fall season. That is the picture of fall. That is the picture of change. Change into another season. Let's think about that. The Bing. Is that the Bing? Thank you for joining us. And where are you listening in from? Thank you. Please and thank you if you're still here. We want to say thank you to everyone who comes in here. Yesterday, we have had 12 people that stopped in here. We're going to tally up the entire week because we know that people will stop by. And that's the thing about virtual. The thing about virtual is that virtual welcomes everyone. Trish, did you put down the Vibe Talk number? The Vibe Talk number, did you put in that? Because someone's requesting our Vibe Talk number. Yeah, 661-503-8993. Yeah. So what do you think about change, Trish? And beautiful moments. What do you think about that?
I think beautiful moments change people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it changes their outlook on things,
Uh-huh.
their point of view, and I feel like for example, like people say they change how people act and how they do things as a parent, and you know how experiences like, yes, I went on the stage and I was nervous the first time, but after that, I transformed into a confident performer because of that experience. It was beautiful, and I'm not afraid to experience that again. Like moments change people's outlook on things.
I love that, Trish, from her own experience. That's my co-host, and we so appreciate her. We are living in a changeless or world. Every day changes. From day to day changes. It's a living reality of how our everyday life is. You know, every season we say hello, and every season we say goodbye. For them all to rotate and reintroduce themselves. How many of you have ever thought about that? The seasons. We've just recently said goodbye to summer. Now we're in fall. Just that quickly. And you know, spring is a time where everything says hello. Everything says hello. Everything is awakened. Everything is aware. It is a month of awakening. Not just a day, but a whole month. And when the spring comes, we're going to show you exactly what we mean and why this is important and how it will relate to you and your life. Because this podcast is all about the change within you. Every day you're changing. I look at myself and then I look at my younger self. Just did that yesterday. My sister had a picture of her and I, and she said, "Look at how young we were." And I had a flashback. Looked back at that picture, and boy, was I young. Now I look at myself and think about what it took to get to be this age and at this time and season. Back then, I hadn't experienced life as I know it now. I thought I knew a thing or two, but a lot of years got put on me from that time. And so it has made me wiser. May change make you wiser. But today we're talking about beautiful change. We've all had a journey of change. Trish just gave us a personal experience for what a beautiful change or a beautiful moment meant to her. Are you saying goodbye to the change of where you were just last month? And are you saying, "Hello, it's me. I have changed for the best in me, the best of me"? Are you grateful for each connection of beautiful changing? Do you clearly understand your change? What does that beautiful change mean? See, as we're all in a hurry to talk and talk and talk and talk, are you noticing those moments? I'm going to take you back. We're going to rewind for a moment. Remember when I asked you to breathe? Your being able to breathe was change. Never forget that. You just breathe in life. And you just breathe out life. Those moments that you just inhaled and exhaled, you can never get back. Pay attention to it. Because every time we talk, every time I talk, I'm letting out air. But now I want the air of my breath to be in good energy. You ever talk to someone whose breaths really stink? Yeah, that part. Does your life stink? Or are you at that part where you can actually feel and you can smell the breath of change? How's it working for you? Does it sting? Or is it refreshing? Each of these pictures should provide for you something refreshing. If you were to drive in this scenery to the right, would your breath stink? Understand the metaphorics. No offense to anyone. Or would you breathe in life? Maybe you don't have a car. But as you walk into this, how does your memory strike you? Would that be a beautiful moment for you, or would it be a really lousy moment for you? Or if you were in the mountains hiking or whatever it is that you do, and this beautiful, majestic deer appeared out of nowhere, look! Do you see him? Does your breath stink? Or is your breath delightful? Smell good? Your breath of life. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful moment. Boy, someone had to take these pictures. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would have loved to talk to the person that took these pictures. Because it's not every day that we see sights like these. Do you appreciate your lungs now? Think about that. No one ever says, my lungs are so beautiful. How many times, Trish, have you ever heard someone say that? Never. But now, how do you feel about it now in the 31 minutes that we've been talking?
I feel like I have a beautiful lung.
Yeah. Breathing all that air in. Podcast. This podcast is to help you think about your beautiful lives. You say, well, my life was not beautiful. Miss Nisi, I came from this and I came from that. But I want you to pay attention to something. Every day you got up, every day you have fought the battle, and every day you have breathed from your beautiful lungs. Someone, you are interrupting me, and Spotify, we told you that we are recording from there. It's Vibe Talk. Please do not interrupt me. Please. Please. If you have a question in relation to the subject that I'm talking about, because Trish gave information, the Spotify is where we're recording. You have to go and find it. Vibe Talk playlist. This recording is not up yet, but you will see the Vibe Talk podcast. Just type it in. Does that answer your question? Please and thank you. One of the things I love about the live podcast is that we can interact, but sometimes when we're interrupting, there are avid listeners here, and I want to be mindful of them. We will give you time for questions, okay? And the time is not when I'm talking. The more important questions are, what beautiful moment have you had, and what are you thankful for? We want you to interact. Please and thank you. So, beautiful moments, saying hello to your beautiful ways. You're beautiful. When I want you to be awakened, a lot we say in here, be awakened to your awareness. What does that mean here? That means here that we know something. We know something more than we did yesterday about ourselves. Was that a beautiful moment for you to discover something about yourself? Did you hear when my co-host said what a beautiful moment was? All of us have it. And we're going to see today the beauty that we experience within ourselves. This is going to be a gorgeous week, a beautiful week, because we're going to give you the sense of what true beauty is. I want you to reach deeply inside of yourself. And I want you to think about the moments of your awakeness, your awareness. I want you to think about that time. Because you see, your time, that time you had, was different from my time. You know, everybody's got that time. Oprah Winfrey simply called hers the aha moment. But I want you to find in your heart, to find it as I'm awake, I'm aware moment. You know that question that Trish asked at the end of the day? What did you discover about yourself? All of those discoveries about yourself, if you're reaching deep inside and thinking about the question, should awaken you to the awareness of no other than yourself. Those should be beautiful moments for you. Let them be. How do we let them be? We simply give permission. So today, I would like for you guys to think about your beautiful moments and give yourself permission. See, that's the key. To give yourself permission to experience beautiful moments. Because maybe what I think is beautiful may not be what you think is beautiful, and vice versa. Because we're all different. But I want you to open up your mindset to allow yourself to think about a beautiful moment. Sure, you can recall bad times. Sure, you can recall painful times. And oh yeah, the sad and the tearful times. But now, when we talk about beautiful moments, it seems a bit of a struggle for many people. And if it's not one of your struggles, I ask that you pass that on. Share that with someone. Find someone to share that with. We have a lot of beautiful moments in here. We've almost been running live 2 years. It isn't the quantity of people. We only take the quantity to make sure that there are people still listening. But it's the quality. Have you been listening? There has been so many beautiful moments. So many beautiful moments that I am on overload. And it's when my mind is free and clear, when I'm tired, when I'm just about to go to sleep, I think of Vibe Talk's beautiful moments. So I want you to reach deep inside of yourself at your beautiful moments. We want you to be able to find permission, allow permission, say yes to the beautiful moments. If you were driving in a car or walking along in the paths to see these beautiful moments, would you turn back and say, nope, I don't want to see that beautiful tree down the path? No. Your heart, that's another part of our body function, longs to walk through that path. Because why? It is a beautiful thing. Remember yesterday we talked about what we are attracted to. Naturally, we are all attracted to beautiful things. And that's the thing. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about feeling the beautiful things. Today we're talking about the experience. A lot of us need to allow ourselves freedom See, that goes along with giving yourself permission to experience the beautiful moments. Some of us have been beaten and battered, emotionally scarred, mentally depraved, or mentally beat up, I should say, or deprived. We want to make sure we're using the right words here. But now, how dare you look at those pictures and tell me that those are not beautiful moments? They weren't yours. But you see what happens? You get to experience the beautiful moment. Someone was the cause of that. Have you said thank you? And are you thankful for those? Because after today, you won't be able to say you never experienced beautiful moments. If this is your day to experience by what you are seeing with your naked eye, someone's photo, have you said yes? Have you allowed yourself to experience it? Or are you still saying no to the beautiful thing? Even the question has asked you today, what beautiful moment did you have? Are you saying no to it? Are you not allowing yourself to experience the beautiful moment? I'm going to tell you, as soon as I saw these pictures, they came up in my feed on social media. That was a beautiful moment for me. Sometimes we avoid it. Sometimes we resent it. Sometimes we are pretending beautiful moments. But we here at Vibe Talk, Trisha and I dig down deep to see how you're really feeling. And when you can't answer the question, we know. And I'll leave that right there. But right now, you should be experiencing a beautiful moment. We need to say yes. Embrace it. Now would be the time to hug your beautiful moment. If all you have is this picture to go on, we're asking you to embrace it. Because so many of us have come from walks of life that doesn't look very much like this. To the right of my screen. But now I want to tell you something that's very interesting. And I want you to understand this. You know those leaves on the right? Think about this. They look lively, don't they? Vibrant colors. We all know the colors of autumn. Isn't it amazing how purple is not there? But we have these radiant colors. Did you know that that tree is in the process of dying? All those are dying trees. Now you're among the living. Can you appreciate the death in those trees and what they have to go through? Remember in our podcast earlier, we talked about knowing the difference between the changes of fall, what it looks like. You were asked to send in your fall pictures. See, those are dead trees. But you wouldn't know it by their appearance. What's the point? What's the take-home point for you? The take-home point for me is that as I want to look at the beautiful scenery, see, once I hit this journey with these dying trees, leaves, I should say. I don't want to turn back. I want to admire the moment. I want to be in the moment of this well-traveled journey. Many people want to be on the street. But now, are you like that tree? You're solid, firm, despite whatever the beautiful changes you have gone through. You say, Miss Nisi, I've been through so much pain. But the fact that you kept breathing meant that you kept going. Just like I would down this journey. You kept going to your journey. Every time you had to face the pain, you felt like death, right? Because only you experienced that pain. And you say, well, Miss Nisi, you don't really know what it was like to have me go through what I went through. I went through hurt. I went through pain. But guess what? So have those leaves. And look how it all turns out. You know that thing that I said about every season changes? We are saying goodbye to autumn. When December comes, mid-December, we're going to be faced with a harsh, cold winter. And some of you are going to brave the cold. And why do I relate this to seasons change? Because they're beautiful, aren't they? You might not like to be cold, but how fun is it to have a snowball fight or build a snowman? Every month, we're going to challenge you to help you to appreciate all that life has to offer, despite your having to deal with the harsh reality of storms upon you. Pull your chair up a little closer. Did you hear what I said? Despite the storms that come upon you. There's no rain. There's no deep freeze to the picture on the right. Let's focus. But yet that tree has went through a beautiful change. See, because in the summer or in the winter, all those leaves are going to fall. And you're going to get a bunch of branches. So you're driving down that street is going to change. Your journey will change. But you'll be able to say hello to a new season once again. I want you to take that and embrace that. What do you take from that, Trish?
I take that regardless of what's going on, as we talked about, as the seasons change, yes, it does, but we still end up with the spring and the summer. We still got that. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the leaves fall in the winter, there's no leaves, and then, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
Yes, as life goes on, it depends on what we change during the cycle. Like, we don't want to have the same thing happen over and over and over again. It matters if in the cycle you see what's going on with you and how you can notice things to make your insight better and how to take things better. Like knowledge and lessons you learn. That's how you change into and form into something, transform into a better person. So you won't look at the cycle like, I get up, go to work, and I come back at home at 9 p.m. at 9. I'm so sick of it. I'm tired of it. But you can look at it like, yes, I'm going through the cycle, but I can provide for myself.
Yeah.
I can take time to spend that money and make myself happy. I have a family. This job is providing for me. So just think about that.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. So let's think about our mindset for a moment. Our mindset must be clear on whatever path we're on. We must be open to notice with our heart. And we must remember our mindset is mind up. Pull your chair a little closer. I said our mindset is mind up. Not mind down, mind up. When you're up, you are conscious. Mind up. We're going to add that to our vibe talk vocabulary. Mind up. You must mind up. Going back to the tree on our right, it's on my right. Now they've been through an array of changes, and out you come with those beautiful colors. Transformation into something beautiful, even while dying. Now, what should that remind us of? We go through an array of challenges in our lives. And when we mind up, we get through. When we mind up, we get through. We become aware of things. And that is what we want to see. You becoming aware of things. You discovering something. Now, what holds you back? Beautiful memories. That is a simple question. We are talking to those of you who are going to be coming later. We know you do. Just check out the videos and see. Somebody's going to listen to the video today. I guarantee you. Guaranteed. But I'm asking you, how do you say yes to your beautiful memories, to your beautiful changes? I want you to think about it. I want you to reflect. I want you to be able to understand the transformation to pain. From pain to gaining access. We'll call that simply pain to gain. Remember, those trees had to go through pain. Painful storms, rained on, kicked at, picked on, pulled down. But yet there it stands, the dying tree, firm in its solid foundation, and yet the leaves will fall. Transformation at its finest. Now we're going to move to the picture on the left. Trish, go ahead, sweetie. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, I realized I made a beautiful change. I chose that side. Something happened to me last week, and I realized that I chose my beautiful change over pain that I can get again and pain that I can have again versus, because there's always a choice, you know, pain versus your peace, and that's what I had to choose. And I just wanted to say that I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of that pain that I made, and I'm happy. And I started crying because I was like, you know what? My life is so much better without this person, and I'm good. I feel great. And then it's just that moment just made me overwhelmed because I saw my change.
I love it. Boy, our co-host is on fire this morning. And that's why we like to have co-hosts, because it's not all about me. We want to hear how her experiences are. And her experiences are going to help you. I promise you. So necessary change. Pain to gain. Now the picture on the left. The weather there looks a bit cold. If you've ever had a brisk or a hard cold winter, you know exactly. But you see, that deer has fur to cover it, to protect it. That's the beauty of nature. Jehovah God protects what he creates. That's a beautiful thing. You can't help but to look at that. And to figure out, at your amazement, how did he get his antlers? He wasn't born with that. But that is the way a deer's anatomy goes. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. That, my dear, is a full-grown deer that had to go through change. Now, we don't know if those antlers hurt, but look at it. It's a beautiful thing. Have you ever saw a human grow antlers? Not. But look at the change. Once he was a baby deer. Once he had no antlers. If you haven't seen Bambi, you'll understand the very thing that I'm talking about. You will understand it to its fullness. That movie is all about change. From the opening to the closing. And I want you to accept the change that you will face. Now, would you say the comparison to these pictures, though different, are still change, and they're absolutely beautiful change? What would you say, Trish?
I'd say they're both beautiful. They're different, but they're still beautiful in their own way.
Yeah. So, we can safely say that change is beautiful. If done with strength. Did you notice I said strength? See, that is your access to yourself, strength. Every change that I've ever went through felt like I was dying, especially the most painful. But it gave me strength. It set upon my way a foundation of strength. The tree on the right side, it has a foundation. The antlers on the left side, it is firmly founded. Our God is an amazing God. That I have to give credit to. Because without those creations, we could never get the picture. I'm so thankful for it. And being that I'm in the photography business, I appreciate that. We see a version of death on the right and a version of life on the left. You know that thing about see the bigger picture? Are you seeing the bigger picture now? How many of you see the bigger picture now? And when you see the bigger picture, do you understand the picture? Do you understand the words to look beyond that picture. See, because there we see a beautiful deer, but we don't know if that fur is going to absolutely keep him warm enough. We don't know the foundings. We don't know the foundings of how the antler process begins. I'd be lying if I told you. But now I want to tell you something else. It would be a good project to look up. But what we do know is that it looks pretty sturdy. It probably has had to go through survival of catching food. It probably has gotten into fights. Oh yeah, they fall in love too. Yeah, they procreate. But yet, what it reminds me of is a simple thing called rise. You see, behind the deer is a sunrise. Did you notice it? The sunrise is a promise that it will come. It will come, and the it you have to fill in. See, we look at the deer, but are we looking behind its surrounding? We don't know what that deer just had to go through. After all, we see a silhouette, and that's how we know it's a deer. How beautiful is that? The antlers look as if they're holding the sun. Look deeply, think deeply. Please, Trish, put where they can reach us on both sides. Please and thank you. Thank you. So we're yet talking about life. Both represent beauty, but in different ways. How do you understand that, Trish?
I understand it like everyone they change different, and I was just looking on Google about the deer's antlers, and I just found out that their antlers shed during the winter, and sometimes they fall off, and they grow back during the spring and the summer.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, thank you for that. Go ahead, Trish.
And I was like, you know what? Fall and the deer's antlers, they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
They're very similar. And I was like, you know what? It's different species of things, like the tree and the deer, but they relate. They have similarities because they all change and they grow back, get back to where they're supposed to be.
Thank you so much for that, Trish. You see why we have a co-host here? Because I wouldn't have been able to bring you all that information. Learn something new. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Without change, the world would have no butterflies. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. You know, butterflies symbolize transformation. And oh, aren't they beautiful? I was able to go to a zoo in Utah, and one of their exhibits that we walked into just happened to be about the butterflies. So many species of butterflies. Now, we see them especially in the springtime. But there are more than one butterflies, more than one color, and even clear butterflies. It's amazing. Change, beautiful change, deeply influences the way we feel, the way we think, the way we see. We are going to be touching on the four senses of life. We are going to be touching on that. But you'll have to be with us. And if you're not with us live, please, we ask of you to do yourself a favor and listen to the podcast. See how you feel about change. We know that there are change. From one state to another, there's change. I live in the high desert of Southern California. Dust, dirt, Joshua trees. But now in some communities, there are beautiful places. You would get lost because you don't think you're in the same city. And I want you to understand how change affects us. I want to give you this illustration. If you are holding a book, but you never actually turn the pages, would that be exciting for you? Trish, what do you think? If you're holding a book and you never open the page, how would that feel for you?
Like, I'm just holding it, like nothing.
What feeling would you think, though? That wouldn't be exciting for me. My feeling would be that of boredom. I'd be bored. That is what life would be like. What you want to do is hold the book and turn the page. When you hold the book, turn the page, and finish a chapter, that is just like the butterfly. Because now you've read a chapter and you can say, I held the book. I even opened it. And you know what? The chapter changed my mindset. The chapter opened up something for me. That's just like the butterfly. I want to read to you another quote. Embrace the winds of change. Let them carry you. How beautiful is that? Sometimes there's windstorms. They don't just carry you, they knock you to and fro. How many of you have ever experienced that? A windstorm that's just, you can barely stand or catch your breath. Any of you? What about you, Trish? You ever been in a windy time where it's so windy you can hardly stand up?
No, but I felt a wind so hard that I can't hear myself.
Yeah.
And it's hard to breathe.
Yeah. I want you to breathe right now. Anyone who's listening to this. She survived that harsh wind. You too find the strength to stand in the winds of life against you. Change is never easy, but can be beautiful. Change is worth it. If the deer never went through those changes, we would not appreciate the deer, right? If the leaves never went through changes, we would never have autumn. So the butterfly changes, and so do you. These are beautiful things we're talking about. So we want you to know that the change within you, standing against the winds of your storms of life, your windstorms of life, it is completely worth it. Because you, yes you, come closer. You are worth it. Every single thing you have been through, you are worth it. Change is growth. And here in Vibe Talk, you have learned how to reflect. Tomorrow will be a chance for you to reflect because we're going to be talking about wellness, getting well, staying well, and being well. You get to reflect on what that means to you through art of expressions. I'm so glad Trisha and I met together to be able to change that for you all, because Saturdays just were not working. When you reflect on yourself, you have endless possibilities to grow. How many times have you said to someone, "My, you've grown"? Maybe you have a younger sibling. Or how many times have you heard someone say to you, "You have grown"? Did you notice the change? Trish summed that up very nicely for us in noticing her change. Sometimes we make small growth. And I want you to compare yourself to anyone else's growth, because even the littlest change can bring about great value to someone. You start to see things from a different perspective. I said, you start to see things from a different point of view, a different mindset, because now you're mind up. Mind up. When you are mind up, you're thinking differently. You're even starting to look differently. Why? Because you've changed. Did you notice it? I am what you call resilient. I've been through windstorms. I've been through tragedy. I have been through rainstorms. But I'll tell you what. The picture on your left of the deer, I've rised. I've rised. And I beg of you to do the same. It makes you, when you are resilient, to be able to accept. ACCEPTED. Not a word that means sit down. Except for, we're not talking about that. That word includes that you agree to it. Maybe it wasn't part of your plan, but if you've got it in your lap, don't ask why. Look forward and say, wow, I got through that. There's two accepts. Let me go back to that. The one I just spelled and the one that says EXCEPT. They're two different. The one that's ACCEPT means that you are saying yes. Maybe you don't like the rainstorms or the windstorms of your life. But you know how I know you agreed to it? Because after it was done, you rose up, just like that deer. You have no idea what that deer has been through. But there he is, standing tall. We live in change environments from day to day. You know, when the pandemic came, we all had something in our life that we have never experienced before. I don't think this side of my life. Maybe my grandparents had experienced a pandemic of the Spanish flu and those things. And we said, what? What is this thing? And then, to top it all off, not only did we know where it came from, but we were all told that we had to wear masks. That, my friends, was an experience. Inhale, exhale. Your beautiful lungs got through it. Some of us did get the COVID, while others of us braved it out. We are still standing. For those who have been lost during the COVID, that doesn't mean that you didn't wear your mask. It meant that you were more susceptible. And that's when we use the word accept. EXCEPT. You didn't ask for it, but you were no exception to the rule. Let's not forget them as well. But you who just breathe breath through your lungs, it is a beautiful thing. Beauty in your very lungs. So you accept that life, and you've said, I'm resilient. Many people had it during this time. You remember that, Trish? Still here?
I'm here, my network.
That's okay. I understand. I want you to accept ACCEPT, life. I want you to get excited. If you haven't had an adrenaline rush during this pandemic, or during this podcast, it requires you to sit and reflect on what you've heard, because we're talking about beautiful changes. Keep your life exciting. Remember that your life will include major changes. Now, Trish just gave us a real treat because she looked up about the deer. I love that. They went through some major changes. We know all about the leaves. If you've been with Vibe Talk, but talk about that quite often. They've been through some major changes. So you will go through major changes, but I want your life to stay exciting. Find exciting things. Find things to be excited about. I know someone that used the word one day, excitable. I like that word. Excitable. Get excitable about you. Embrace. You know that wind that I told you about? Because it gets pretty windy here in the desert. I'm high up. I'm about 2,000 feet above sea level. 2,000. It gets windy here. Do I embrace that wind? Nope. Because I can barely stand up. Trish talked about you can barely hear. Okay? This is what this wind does. So I think next time I'll just let the wind carry me. Like being one of those wind things that you see when you're driving around, the air wind things that blows to and fro, back and forth. Because that's what they're doing, the air balloons. So I want you to think about change and how greatly it benefits you and how beautiful it is. Change is beautiful. I want you to think about that. All of us experience beautiful changes in our own times and seasons. You can almost expect fall to look colorful. You can name all the colors that are in a fall season. You know when it's fall. You know what happens in the fall. And then you look over at winter. You understand the winter. Why? Because you feel it. The atmosphere has changed. We're going to be talking about feelings tomorrow and how we feel beauty. When we think about the idea of beauty, do you get the sense that beauty is beyond the eye? We talked about blind people. Imagine this. I always talk about Stevie Wonder because I love his music. Love Stevie Wonder. Man has been blind all his life. But have you heard his beautiful music? How did Stevie Wonder learn to play all that beautiful music? If you find the beauty in Stevie Wonder's music and so many other composers, because we don't want to be remiss of anyone, because that's true talent. How do they see their music? Well, they have Braille for the blind, but they also feel their music. They can tell you what color their songs are. Did you know that feelings have color? We're going to get into that tomorrow and how beautiful that is. So let's talk about ideas of what is beautiful. What is beautiful? We think about our ideas of beauty. We look at the movies, TV, magazines, all the media, and they give you what they think is beautiful. They say beautiful is smooth, beautiful is clean, thin, delicate, young. I find beauty in older people. They don't necessarily have to be the most beautiful person I've ever laid eyes on. But you know what's beautiful about them? Their wisdom. If you have not had the chance to talk to an older person, whether it is your grandmother, grandparents, grandfathers, go adopt an older person for a day and be genuine about it. Go talk to them. I guarantee you will experience a beautiful moment. Because I'm going to tell you, those have been one of my moments. Not what the media says. The media doesn't project the older people as beauty, as someone you want to spend time with. Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning. And where are you listening in from, please? And thank you. And Trish, what's the Vibe Talk question, please? As we talk about beauty. Texas. Thank you. What's the Vibe Talk question, Trish? Please and thanks.
What beautiful moment have you experienced?
Thank you, Trish. What beautiful moments. We are great. I am great. Trish, he's asking. They're asking, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
And what beautiful moment have you experienced? You're welcome. All this week, we're going to be talking about beautiful moments. Yes, Sirski, have you experienced a beautiful moment? What has been your beautiful moment? Because that's today's topic. We're here every day. We are live on Facebook at Vibe-Talk. We are recording along with our live recording. So you are live. It will be posted right after we're done. All week we're going to be talking about feelings. And so we ask of you, yes, Sirski, what beautiful moment have you experienced? Have you ever experienced beautiful moments? Going back while they answer, if they, if they choose to, excuse me. That's the thing about live, you catch everything. The beautiful has changed. Our beautiful standards of how we think about beauty has changed. People have different ways of seeing beauty. We learned yesterday that there are certain ways to think about beauty. Everybody had their own definition of beauty. If you want to hear yesterday's podcast, Trish, what is the name there that has just come in? Thank you for joining us. What's that name? I cannot see.
I can't see it either.
Okay. Thank you, Trish. Ways to be beautiful. What are some ways to be beautiful? We're going to be discussing that. What do we think about beauty? And if you guys have been with us, then you know quite well the definition. And if you don't, please look at it. So our beauties of definitions vary. They vary. You know, where we live, being kind to others. Thank you so much. Beautiful moment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Everyone, or society, I should say, not everyone, because I want to be correct, have thought about beauty. But did you know most people connect beauty with class and wealth? Trish, I think you brought that out yesterday. Remember when you were talking about how people see beauty? You there?
I'm here, and yes, I remember.
Yeah. Beauty is thin. Beauty is shapely, curvy, you know. And then when people who are bigger, they take the beauty to the extreme. Less clothing some, to show what they got. And now we're learning the essence of what beauty really is. We need to remind ourselves about the beautiful things. That's why we're talking about it. How many of us need a reminder of beautiful things? I do. What about yourself, Trisha? Trish?
I do.
Yeah. True essence. The radiance of yourself. Your light. Your ambience. Your energy. What is that thing that makes you feel beautiful? Is it somewhat looking at others, waiting for them to tell you that you're beautiful? Or have you already lit your match, lit your fire to show your true beauty? I'm going to tell you right now what I discovered about myself after we give Trish her corner, her treasures. Trish's treasure, take it away.
The breeze of the beautiful. What is this feeling? A feeling of worth, a feeling of deserving. Everyone felt it. I wondered why I have not, but I have felt it. It has tickled my cheek, that feeling, the feeling of beautiful change, an existing breeze. No matter the short moment, I cannot shake the memory. The feeling was for me too. I too deserved it. Now I know the feeling. The feeling that was destined for me. Now in the midst of my darkness, I remember the breeze of the beautiful things.
Wow. Is that a song? Hint.
No, I just wrote.
Hint. I'm always excited to see her beautiful music. Trish, be sure to leave your information on both pages, because Trish is just not our beautiful co-host. She is a beautiful musician, and I've had experience with her music, and it is absolutely a beautiful thing. Trish, is that all you want to say for your Trish's treasure? Because that was powerful, but it is in your ballpark.
I also want to say that in the midst of the darkness, in the midst of your cycle that you're going through, you have the power to change it into something beautiful. You can transform it into something beautiful. Even the plants that grow in the concrete, they grow in the dark, but they still come out looking as beautiful as ever. And you can come out of that darkness and blossom and bloom into you're beautiful. You have your own personal beautiful. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not, because you most definitely are. You are your own person.
Absolutely. Thank you for those words of impact, empowerment, and motivation. You always inspire us, and we appreciate it. What is our last question of the day, Trish?
What have you learned or discovered about yourself today? And what was your experience like here today?
Yeah. When we're asking that question, what have you learned? That's for every podcast. So let's say if you're live with us, you're going to get a chance to understand yourself better. Maybe there was something that gut punched you. Or maybe there was something that you needed to be reminded of. Or maybe there was an emotion that was triggered that time, this time. And maybe you needed to mind up. What I discovered about myself is that I'm open to saying yes to the changes. And some of the changes have been very painful for me. But no doubt, that's where I gathered strength from. I also felt really awe-inspired. That is the deepest kind of inspiration, to find out about the deer's antlers and the change. Thank you so much for that, Trish. I felt inspired by this, and I hope that you guys do. I'm going to ask the question to Trish, my co-host. What did you discover about yourself in this podcast on Beautiful Moments? And what was your feeling here today?
I discovered that I have changed a lot for a person that has a comfort zone, and I don't like leaving out of my comfort zone. But at the same time, I've changed. I've noticed that I've developed in a better point of view in my mind. My mindset has changed, and I also learned that it starts with that. It starts with my mindset in order to change.
Thank you so
much. And my experience here today was enlightening, because it's hard for me to say that I have changed. I don't think the same, because I don't like the feeling of someone saying, "You changed a lot." But to me, I have changed in a good way, and I accept my change. APC, EPP. I accepted my change.
I love it. And I love how you got the point of that accept. We learn a lot here. Was that all, Trish? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
That was all.
Amazing. I learned from you all, including my co-host, Trish. I absolutely love her, and I love what she comes up with by her own rights. Don't forget, Trish, to include where they can find your amazing, beautiful music. Find beauty in your life. Not just for a day, not just for a time, but find beauty. Allow yourself to say yes to the beautiful moments. Because no doubt, whomever took these pictures had a beautiful moment. And you know what? They're going to remember this for a lifetime. They've probably hung these pictures in their home somewhere, and they no doubt were from 2 different photographers. I can't give the credit because it has no photographer on it. But no doubt they've got this picture. May this be a reminder to you that your lungs breathe in beauty each and every moment. Thank you for joining me. Trish, what states were in here today? There were 8 people that came in and out of here today.
States that were in here were Texas, South Carolina, Palmdale, California, and countries Southeast Asia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate someone being here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate my co-host. Thank you. We appreciate all the callers that came in today or that will comment. And we're here, someone. We have a few minutes. What would you like to say? Please and thank you. Okay, we're going to take someone's call. Good afternoon, or good morning. From here, anyways.
It is evening now.
Yes.
Wait, evening. The solar eclipse. Wait 1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
Ouch. Yeah.
What would you like to say, caller? What would you like to say?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's just dark outside, so.
Okay, what would you like to say?
I'd like to say that I appreciate everything that's going on.
Thank you so much, Nana. Good morning and welcome. Glad you could join us. We've talked about beautiful changes. What state are you in? Listening in from, please and thank you. Nana, we're talking to. What state are you listening in from, please and thank you. We're just about ending our podcast, and you're so welcome, someone. Thank you for your morning listening to our podcast. Our podcast is becoming number 10. Number 10 spot. So, top 10. I love that. Was that earlier, Trish? Number 10? And we have a listener from New Jersey. Was that earlier, Trish? Number 10 when it flashed up?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to be accurate. New Jersey, Nana, if this is your first time being here, we're all about feelings and emotions. And this week is a beautiful thing because it is on beautiful things. How we perceive beautiful things, what are beautiful things, and how we can be a beautiful thing. If you haven't listened to any of our podcasts, you can find us on Facebook at vibe-talk and on Instagram. We are now going to be on Spotify recording. It's been a long time coming. I started and then I stopped, but we are now live recording. Once we're done with this podcast, it goes up on our Facebook page. Please go by our page and like, share, follow. I wish you more of the beautiful things. If you haven't had a beautiful moment, let today be the exception. Allow yourself to say yes to all the beautiful moments. Thank you for joining Trish and myself. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday Wellness. Thank you so much, Trish, for all that you do, and thank you, callers and listeners and those who leave us messages. Thank you, and thank you. I wish you more beauty to think about. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody. I wish you more beautiful things.